Hello, happy Sunday. You know, you guys are just the best way to start my day as I was sitting down, getting ready to start here. I have to admit, this morning I was feeling a little like, oh man, I don't know. I'm feeling a little down in the dumps, but then I come in and I see you guys are waiting to have a great play date with me, and it just immediately picks me up. My little pep talk from my friend Elle did not hurt either. I want to say hi to everybody who's in here and who's said hello so far. So, hi, Emma, Jen, my early birds today, Dragonfly Whimsy, L. Let's see, who else do we have in here? We have Kimberly and Jen up early in Australia. And Heather, I'm so sorry you're not feeling well. Boy, can I relate. I actually might get through today's play date without coughing, although I should be careful what I say there. Let's see, Wendy is in here, and we have Sandra. We have lots of mods. Hi, Simon. Ayo. How did I do? How did that sound? It's the first time I've ever tried it. We have Gracia in here, and Athena's Path. Do you have a name change, Athena's Path? Or is that, let's see who here. Essence, 818, White Tree Tarot, Aquarius Owl. B, hello. We have Robin, Queen of Shimmering Moons, Diane, D. I said it right. All right, you guys, I feel like we have some new people in here. Either that or maybe this is the first time I've seen you comment. All right, just as per usual, and I actually don't think I even said this last time. As you know, the chat can scroll really fast, especially in Playdate, because we have so many people contributing ideas and thoughts on the cards that we're looking at. So if you need me to see something in particular, using the all caps or tagging me at Jen's Balanced Tarot is always a great way. In this live chat in particular, obviously I have a pretty good eye on the chat. So I think, most times I'm pretty good, but like last week, all right, I'm going to see if I can do this without completely hosing my setup. But last week I seem to have missed quite a few comments. People were wondering what that little yellow guy, and my camera angle was a little bit different, so you could see him a bit more. Now I'm going to see if I can do this without jostling the camera too much. But that's that guy. So he is a little mask that a very good friend of mine that has been like I was going to say surrogate mother. She wasn't my surrogate, but like, personally adopted mother. And she gave that to me as a gift. Her and her husband collect really eclectic things. He's an artist that is local to my area. Not anything I would ever in a million years buy for myself, but he just seems perfect in here. So anybody who hasn't seen that, that's what that is. I did post a picture of it in the play date last week. Kimberly, you're going to the Northwest Tarot Symposium. That is fantastic. I will be this year. That's funny. I was going to ask, is there anybody here in the room today who's maybe going to that? So this is a tarot conference that happens just outside the Portland, Oregon area. I know Jen Ball, you're going to be there. So it's a really good time. I went last year. Very excited to going again. So if you're going to be there, please do come say hi to me. Please do, please. I would love to put faces to some of these names. All right, we've had a few folks filter in here while I've been rambling on. Hi, Stephen and France Claire. The Bastet 777. Oh, hey, Catherine, you did make it. That's awesome. All right, so last week we had another court card. We were all very excited about this, weren't we? We're all hoping for that major, and we're going to manifest that today, I have a feeling. Hi, Des. Oh, Catherine, you're going to be there. Oh, that's amazing. That's going to be so fun. Oh, Diane, I know it's East Coast. That is kind of far, but you probably have you gone to the New York one? I want to go to that one someday. Yes, please. What is that, Reader Studio? Anyway, did anybody have the King of Swords show up for them in any noticeable way? I want to say this week I had to do a lot of communicating. I really, really did. And so I tried to keep this in mind, throughout the course of the week. Now, once again, I am not very good at leading by example, it seems, because I have not been very good about doing either the Tarot Playbook activity, which actually this time sounded okay. So I think I'm still going to do that one. I'm just running a little behind. And nor did I do the alternate activity. But the alternate activity was really interesting this week. And I did see that we had at least one post in the Facebook group about that, where we wanted to keep the King of Swords in mind and let him guide us if we were tempted to have maybe not the best reaction or response to something maybe in the area of social media or when communicating with other people. It was a great exercise. So if you didn't see it, I have it in the description box below the last week's video, and I have it in the Facebook group. So that's kind of my housekeeping stuff. Okay, we have Artistry of Tarot has come in, and Lori, hello. I would love to see myself and anybody else, like, you know, I'd love to see more about how these cards turn up for us during the week. So if you have an opportunity to share, please do. Like, I'm not just giving you lip service when I say I'm interested. I'm really super interested. Oh, Stephen, you got the King of Swords right after right after play date. That's interesting. Hopefully in a good way. Hopefully he guided you well. All right, so as always, for those of you who might not be familiar with the format, before we pull our card, right, before we pull our card for the week, we like to gather a list of questions that we can use this card to answer for us, and help us get more practice with, you know, using the single card to answer a question. Oh, okay. I'll drink some more coffee. One second. All right, Simon's ready for me. How can I live my best life this week? Oh, yes, I want to know that too. I really want, even if it's a hypothetical, I really want to know that. How can I live my best life this week? That's so positive. I love it. All right. Emma, how can I improve in my relationships this week? Oh, I love that one too. Oh, we're getting new ones. I can tell you guys have maybe been thinking about this. And I'm gathering 5 questions. But sometimes if we have a 6, I'm okay with that too. If we get a really good one. Let's see. What else we have? What influence does the moon have on me this week? Jennifer, you do not know how aptly timed that question is, because you know, we just had a full moon on Friday, and I am reading and learning. I really want to be better tuned into the moon phases and how I can kind of structure some of the things that I'm attacking in my life. Not attacking, addressing. That's maybe a better word. What influence does the moon have on me this week? So I've been doing some reading on the moon. All right, so we have 3 so far. Let's see. Oh, how can I make a positive difference to my life? You know, Rosemary, I think that's a good one, but I think it's really close to how can I live my best life this week? So those two are really close together. Do you feel like that will maybe answer that question for you? How can we best navigate? Oh, Stephen's throwing that astrology at me again. We haven't done one of those in a while. How can we best navigate the Saturn-Pluto conjunction happening today? Is that normally a challenging thing, or is that normally a positive thing? I don't know enough about that. How can we best? We have to educate ourselves if this card is going to help us answer that well. Saturn, I'm writing it down though. Pluto conjunction happening today. And then Diane asked, how is this week for traveling for work? Now that's pretty specific, so not everybody here is going to be traveling, but for anybody who is, we can all help maybe answer that. So that's a good one. Okay, so how is this week for traveling for work? One, two, three, four, five. You know what? I'm going to take that 6th one, Robin. I'm going to take how can we best make our intentions clear in social situations? Then we have a card, a question we can answer with our original, and then my 5 alternative decks. And I think I have a good selection of 5 alternative decks this week. I'm pretty happy with my random draw this time. How can we best make our intentions clear? Oh my gosh. Okay. In social situations. If I missed your question, or if you had one in mind that we're not doing this week, Bring it back next week for me. Okay, I think we have a great variety, really a great variety of questions this week too, you guys. You're on it. All right, I'm already getting excited. See, my mood is just picking up more and more. All right, are we ready for our card? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the full moon that's kind of messing with me, even though it's not full anymore. But, you know, the energy lingers. Uh-oh. Okay, there's my dropsies. Jen, your day can start now. I guess I dropped a card for you. All right, even though I have like a table in front of me. All right, you guys. Let's see what we get. Let's see if the tarot gives us what we want, because we all know we're hoping for a major, or what we need. All right, I'll do a few more. I saw you guys in the chat were talking about bridging. There you go. Maybe slow that down. Do me in slow motion later. All right. Here we go. One more shuffle and we're going to do it. Oh, that was a terrible shuffle. That's not the one. All right, here we go. I'm very particular about when I will draw a card during a shuffle. Here we go. Not a major, but something we haven't had yet before. Now, I can't help but think that the reason we got this card has a lot to do with your questions, but today we got the Ace of Cups. Oh, no. You know, Heather, I've actually been thinking I might have to put together a compilation video of some of the best moments of Tarot Playdate. That one might have to be in there. Okay, here, let's get close so you can see everything this card has to offer. Come on, camera. You know you want to today. There we go. Our Ace of Cups. Yeah, I still feel like at least getting an ace sort of gets us in a different realm than we've been for a little while. Elva, yeah, that really should have been one that Elle picked up on. Okay, so it's the cup from the Four of Cups stalking us, right? That handout of that cup. Selkie is saying the dove of peace right here up at the top. Yeah, I'm feeling good. You know, if you think back on those questions, and we're going to address those, I think this could be a really fun card to talk about today. Beginning of a new love. Cross new, you know, right, Simon? I'm with you. Like, you know, sometimes there's a time when you think, okay, I'm ready for that. Let's, all right, what else do you guys kind of, how does this make you feel? Let me just ask you that before we start diving into the symbology card. Like, what did you feel the minute I showed you this card? Were you disappointed because it wasn't a major? Were you excited? Tell me what you felt. Heather says being open to new or potential emotions. Oh, see, you're hanging in there. Hi, Jamie. I don't think I said hi to you yet. Emma says renewing our emotional connections with others. That's a meaning that kind of jumps right out. All right, so we got people felt happy, soothed, comforted, positive healing vibes, refreshed. Yes, I feel like I really needed to see this card. You know, you guys, with me shuffling, you're sort of at the mercy of what's going on in my life sometimes when I pull these cards. Happiness overflowing with emotions, says Selkie. Newness, Des, yes. Emotions running over. Simon admits disappointed, not a major, but impressed it wasn't another court. Yeah, we didn't start off lightly here with Tarot Playdate, did we? So much potential in them. Yes, I'm always happy to see aces as well. I think every time I pull an ace in a reading, I probably smile. Good things flowing into our life. Dragonfly Whimsy says a spiritual card, peace. Robin, sometimes our emotions overflow beyond our control. Developing feelings, says Simon. Healing. My cup is running over. I mean, yeah, this is just the epitome of my cup runneth over, right? With this particular card. Aw, Jennifer's feeling disappointed. Too many emotions. Well, you might not be feeling that. You might be interpreting that way too. And Sandra just loves cups, so that's good. Hi, Morgan. I don't know what the SawCon festival is. You might have to educate us. Val says, getting in touch with our feelings. Hello, Sean. We didn't get major, but we got an ace. And we're mostly, I think the overall vibe in the room is we're fairly happy with this. Psychically yours, hello. Yeah, usually make you feel positive. Oh, okay, maybe we don't need Morgan in the room. Okay. The Bastet, 777, kindness and love. Simon says, I basically always see this as a question as to whether we are in touch with our own feelings. Holding on to what you love, says Wendy. Yeah, a lot of things really immediately come to mind. So one of the things that that I always, well, how do I want to phrase this? One of the things I want to do is get my words straight today. All right. What I wanted to do is I feel like, I wrote down 6 questions instead of 5. And so maybe what we can do today, just a little bit of a shakeup, is actually let's answer our first question. So how can I live my best life this week? And some of you may be already kind of keeping that in mind as you respond to seeing our card today. So how can I live my best life this week? How would you interpret that when you see this card? And then we are going to talk about the different symbology in the card. And I brought today, you guys, do you see it over here in the corner? I have my book. So we're gonna do a deep dive into this card today. Dragonfly Whimsy is noticing the water lilies and the lotus. Yeah. A lot of times you see lotus flowers in the cup suit, right? In different tarot cards, I've noticed. So be open to all the beauty and love around you, says the Basset 777. And Selkie, keep control over your emotions. Wendy, keep my emotions in check if dealing with an emotional situation. So that's funny. So one person saying, keep my emotions in check. And then, of course, we have our alternate viewpoint, Heather bringing in, lean into my emotions, embrace those emotions. No mud, no lotus. I missed that, Al. I don't know where that came from. Oh, Brian's in here. Are you feeling better, Brian? I know you were sick. How are you feeling? Catherine says, holding space for your emotions. Yes. Sometimes I need to do way more of this. Oh, you just gave me goosebumps because I just realized how I can totally embrace this card for myself today. Sorry, selfish moment. Stephen, holding ourselves and others in our best love and compassion. You want to talk about the dove dunking the cookie, Robin? We can do that. Dragonfly Whimsy says purity and enlightenment. Hey, Julie, welcome. All right, Abundance Tarot. No, you're not too late. You are not too late. No, I'm on at this time at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 6:30 p.m. UK every Sunday. Let's see. Val says this correlates with the alternate activity last week of running our emotions by the King of Swords to get an extra perspective, right? Sometimes we get caught up in all of the flow of the emotions. The dove is holding a wafer. Yeah, we want to dive into that for sure. Jennifer does not want to get sick from Brian. Essence 818, overflow does not equate to balance. Is the overflow, is that wasteful? Wendy says the dove and wafer, I think, means a breakthrough in spiritual development. Yeah, the aces can bring so much to us, right? The word enlightenment certainly comes to mind. Gosh, yeah, the sacred host. I know, still no major. We tried. We were manifesting. But the tarot had other ideas for us. There's a reason we got this card. Just embrace it. Let's see here. All right, so let's talk about the different symbologies that we're seeing. So keep in mind, if you want to keep throwing answers at me and more kind of like how you can live your best life this week, I would love to see those keep rolling in. But in the meantime, let's talk about the things that we see in this card. So I'm going to kind of work from the inside out. So when you see this cup, so right here, we have our big gold chalice, right? Okay, good. Come on. We also have a little bit of artwork there. So just focusing on the cup and the chalice, what does that mean to you? So I actually, Jilly, I have the book today. And you know what? The funny thing is, I don't know what the W means. All right, so Simon's going to, it's probably easier if somebody else looks these up. So Simon brings to us, often our hearts are blocked with many negative feelings, past hurts, fears, resentment this week. We need to try and find a way to let it go. Yes, I love how you're focusing on that for your best week. Love that. Is the number 5 because there are 5 streams of water overflowing from the cup significant? Just notice there are 5 streams. Rosemary noticed that. That's a really great observation. I've never really thought about how many streams of water we are seeing from this cup. W equals water. Is it really that simple? Is it really? Wendy is saying the cups in the water receptivity. Looks like a little cherub, this little thing here that I was kind of showing way up close here. I don't know what that is. Come on. It's almost focused. There we go. I don't know what that little guy is. World, W equals world. All right, I'm going to see if I can hold this card up and look at in here our Ace of Cups. Let's see what it says. So it points directly at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The cross and the letter. The letter could be a W. It could be referring to Waite, as in Arthur E. Waite. Or could it be a reference to the church's role as bringer of the creed? I don't even know what that means, honestly. Oh, Stephen says one stream of water for each element. Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it. Or the 5 streams of life force power. It looks like 3 bells on your universal weight, Emma, the little symbol there on the cup. Yeah, W for weight. Good chance it's that. Yeah, we don't notice the W. It's literally smack dab in the middle of the card, but we go immediately to everything that's around it, right? Except for Sandra noticed it right away. That's the first thing she saw. Yeah, nobody knows exactly what's going on with that W. You know, the funny thing is, I don't know if this is weird to you guys, but it looks so much like an M upside down to me that my brain, and I don't have any kind of dyslexia or anything like that. I know many people do, but that's usually a different thing. But for some reason, it stands out to me almost as an M upside down than a W. My brain, I don't know. Oh, I'm not the only one. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. All right, so yes, this hand that's holding this out is a left hand, right? Emerging from the cloud. So is this the same hand that's holding out the cup in the 4 of Cups? Is it a different hand? All right, so let's talk about our dove and our wafer and the cross. What is that bringing to us? So Robin says that artistically, the arms of the W reach up to receive the wafer from the dove. A W is visually a sort of vessel in alphabetic mode. Yeah, I mean, it does look like it's a receiving symbol for sure. So Stephen says the dove is the spirit coming down from Kether, and the symbol of the disc is that of Malkuth, Earth. Oh, White Tree Tarot says one version is that it is an M. Together with the cross, it makes, oh my gosh, I can't pronounce that. Medai, Miraculous, symbol of Virgin Mary. Aquarius L, I'm guessing you're a lefty. The 5 streams could be the 5 senses that allow us to be more in touch with our emotions, maybe. The hand is showing that it's a gift to you. You yourself are the gift, says Simon. Aslog Aaron's show. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that even remotely right, but hello, I don't think I've seen you before, so welcome. To live my best life, fill myself up energetically before I can help others. Otherwise, the cup gets empty. And yes, hello. I read that very, very in order there. The dove is the Holy Ghost. Oh, yes. The disc reminds me of Host, Selkie. Yeah, you guys are really giving me a lot to think on. You know, every week I watch this back and I make my notes, and sometimes I just have to pause and be like, "Wow, my brain." Hello, Kay. I don't think I've said hi to you yet. So, Friends Claire is noticing here that we have 26 drops, 8 above the hand and 18 below. Artistry of Tarot. The wafer dipping into the cup makes me think of communion, dipping the wafer into wine at church. You know, they definitely do bring a lot of religious elements into this one. Psychically Yours says it is a reversed M. When placed with the cross upon the wafer, this created the symbol. Oh, yeah, somebody else just said that too. The miraculous medal of the Immaculate Conception. Wow. There's a lot going on in this card. It looks simple when you first pull an ace, doesn't it? OMG, it's KE. Hi, Twist. Welcome in. You know, there really is no late. We're not going to send you to the back of the class. We're not going to put you on timeout. You know, everybody's welcome at any time. Yeah, the cross looks like the wafer from the Holy Communion. Is communion done with wine? Maybe the W is for wine. Oh, well, I'm always happy to see wine in a card, anywhere you want to put it, really. Yeah, you guys are really bringing some amazing stuff to this. What do we think about our scenery in the background? You know, obviously we're flowing into water. We have the lily pads, and I'm assuming those are lotus flowers, just because that's usually what we see in this card. Come on, focus, focus. There we go. Although some of them look like tulips. Only a little bit of land in this card, just enough. I don't know if that land is enough to ground us, but is there an E on this cup? An E or an A? I don't see an A, but we do have this interesting little symbol here that some people said looked like a cherub. Others said it looked like 3 bells. Yeah, a lot of Stephen's noting that weight makes strong Christian symbols with Golden Dawn imagery. I have so much studying to do on the history of tarot and where so much of this stuff comes with. I could just, it's going to take me my whole life, I'm sure, to ever feel like I even have a handle on everything that has lended to this. Jilly says, Rachel Pollock says, this is the depiction of the Holy Grail and gives the entire suit a quality of healing. Simon says, the deeper and more muddy at the swamp, the more beautiful the lotus blooms. Is that really true? Huh. Interesting. So there's always beauty, even in the mud. Is that a winged cherub? Let's see. What do we make of the energy emanating from the hand? See, now that's a really good point, because look, we have this sort of energy light that's happening around the hand. Let me see if I can get my face out of the way. Come on. See those rays of light there? It's a good eye there, Robin. Twist saying water equals emotion, a whole crap load of emotion at a tiny piece of land, not so much to ground you, but just to remind you that there's more out there than just emotion. Yeah, I haven't listened to Fortune's Wheel Hush yet, but I have it queued up to listen to that podcast. For the lotus, there is beauty because of the mud. Oh, it's a Buddhist metaphor. Well, Simon and Jilly, you would both know about that for sure. Isn't the hand on the aces supposed to be the hand of God? So somebody else said something different. Did somebody else say something different about the hand? But I thought the hand of God was kind of my understanding of what this is. Yeah, I've never really noticed the rays of light. And other people who are looking at other versions of this card, and this should be something I think we should check for in our other aces to see. What do you think about that energy emanating from that hand? Is it because it's from the hand of God, or does that mean something else? Stephen says cups also relates to fertility. Holy energy, says Emma. Psychically Yours, water is also intuition. It could be a signal of a beginning of developing stronger intuition or connecting with divine. Love it. You guys are doing wonderful just with this one card. Do the lotus represent something? Like the dove could be peace. So let me see. Simon, do you have your book? Anybody else have this book? Did anybody end up picking up this book after last week's playbook and we finally, or play date, when we finally kind of showed what this was? Let's see. Ace of Cups. So we have, obviously we have the cup. We have the 5 jets of water. In the book, it says the cup is the source of 5 streams of water, or 5 jets, an image of the great natural cycles and a symbol for the way individual people are connected with the river of life. Whew. And there's other thoughts here about the individual jets differentiating between oneself and all others, sorting and distinguishing different feelings. Oh, this book is good. Simon, you were not kidding. Thanks for my Christmas gift, Elle. The rays could be a sign of power for many reasons, says Kay. You got the book, Dragonfly Whimsy? Have you looked at it yet? I haven't even hardly looked at it. Oh, Wendy says the phrase opportunities that come out of the blue and the energy around the hand could be healing energy. I need healing, loving energy right now. I'm just going to take that all in. Yeah, Emma, this talks really about all the different symbols. So it's not just the keywords that we often see in these books. It's really focusing on the symbology in the card, which I really love. So the way that it's structured, for example, I'm going to see if I can do this. Actually, I'm going to put this card down. So you can see here, it talks about the different symbols that are in the card, right? Focus. And so you can see it's talking about the cup, it's talking about the dove, all those different things. So it's a great way to, you know, and obviously this is going to be, you know, whoever wrote this book, this is what they're bringing based on their research and their understanding. You know, always trust your intuition, I say, right? So if it's telling you something different, sometimes that's right too, you know, or maybe always that's right. So Brian, this is the ultimate guide to the Rider Waite Smith, and these are the authors. But if you find this kind of, you know, book cover with the magician on the front, that's usually the right one. And I believe this is published by Llewellyn. So you can probably find it on their website if you can't find it on Amazon. And I'll just put a link to the UK store for that book. All right, you guys ready for a new card and maybe a new question? Let's see what we've got here. Oh, so Robin noted that the book suggests the 5 streams of water could be rising up to meet the cup rather than flowing down. Oh, or could go both ways. That's interesting. All right, so as always, I did a random draw to pull 5 decks from my collection this week to use in Tarot Playdate. This allows us to kind of see and interpret different versions of the card, as well as gives me an opportunity to pull out more of my decks and make sure that they all get into rotation. So I'm going to start with the one that I think is probably going to be most closely aligned with sort of this card. I need to keep this at the ready. And I'm going to pull out the Ace of Cups from the new Whispering Spirits by Joanna Nelson. Such an adorable deck. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. I really need to figure... I've never figured out the best way to sort of organize as I pull these decks out. All right, so we've got our cutie patootie little creatures. All right, we're going to set that there, that there. All right. Here is our Ace of Cups from the Whispering Spirits with Joanna's cute little creatures. Let's get a little closer again. Don't shake, Jen. There we go. So we see a lot of that familiar imagery in this particular card, right? Now, Joanna has put in this deck, she has these little origami cranes and birds and things. So she's put that in place of the dove. But I think we see a lot. Now, anybody notice anything kind of right off the bat that's different? Looks like a kid in a peanut costume. The dove, the wafer, the 5 streams, the flowers. Artistry of Tarot is trying not to be tempted by the cards we show here today. We have a lotus. We have some lily pads. I love that we get a really prominent lotus in this card. Yeah, right? There's no hand. So we have, instead of a hand, a Teletubby. Oh, those Teletubbies creep me out. So we sort of have this. Is this a cloud? Okay, focus. There we go. The feet make a little mustache shape. It's so cute. Yeah, I'm completely. Yeah, this one, Simon, I liked this a little bit better than the Mons Tarot for some reason. I'm actually glad I brought this into my collection. And just in case you want to see it, these are the backs of the cards, really pretty. And these are bigger than a standard tarot size too. So you can see here, it's quite a bit bigger. But it really gives us an opportunity to look at that imagery, and it's easier for me to hold this card up to the camera. All right. Okay. Bye, Wendy. Tea time again. All right. So our question, our second question that we came up with today is, how can I improve in my relationships this week? So what does our little whispering spirit tell us that we can do to improve our relationships this week? I did do a walkthrough of this, Simon. Actually, it's up on my channel. All right. Let's see. Are those ears or antenna in his head holding the cup? Are they part of the cup itself? So let's get a little closer. Come on. I think the answer to that question is, it depends on what you see, because I can see it being part of the cup. Maybe this whispering spirit is one with the cup. And then what does that say? All right. So in answer to the question, how can I improve in my relationships this week? We have, maybe we should let the emotions rule over our head, right? Leaning into those again, right? As we kind of talked about when we looked at the last card, to communicate with others with compassion, but be emotionally available. There was no but in there. I should not have inserted a but. Remember our essential innocence. Yes, no, Simon's not a fake fan. Simon is often one of the first to watch my videos. I cannot complain if he's actually missed one, especially with 31 days of tarot in the mix. Oh my goodness. Heather says, be willing to be open and vulnerable with others. Robin says, what does it say about him wearing the cup as a hat? There's a mind-emotion connection. You know, one of the things that I've never really done is looked at what the book said, but I do that kind of on purpose because I really want you guys to be able to, I know that I want to learn more to trust my intuition and see what I see in these cards, but we can always supplement it, maybe before I put the card away. So I've got that at the ready. Allow new connections to form with others. Be open to new friendships and relationships. Simon and I, when we first pulled this card, we're like, maybe opportunities for new relationships or love, right? So this, how can I improve my relationships? It's just being open to them. Let your emotions flow, but not too much, says Jen. Yeah, so don't get caught up in your emotions. Maybe control these streams, right? We don't want a gushing waterfall as much as I like waterfalls. We want steady, controlled streams. I'm going to take what you guys say and then just put my little spin on it. Is that okay? The water is streaming out around him. He's letting the emotions flow around him without disturbing him, right? He's very centered. And I'm going to say this for Jillian Simon, like he's really zen, right? There's a little shadow. So Lori, hi Lori. There's a little shadow by the legs that could be the bottom of a stand the cup is sitting on. All right, let's take a look here. Come on, there we go again. There we go. I don't know if I know what you mean. Oh, look at that little bit of pink. Look, it's got a little droplet. So I didn't realize until just now. Come on. Oh gosh, you guys, we got no focus. So we don't have all the droplets in this card that we have in the main one, but Oh, did I see? Oh, Renee. Hi, Renee, the tarot magician. The only droplet in this whole card is that little pink droplet on our creature's face. Our whispering spirit. There it is. And does it look like our little spirit is holding something? Or is that just its little cute hands? Oh, oh boy, Lori's trying to give us earworms. White Tree Tarot says, yes, it does seem like he's part of the cup, reunited with it. That's the fifth stream. What's the fifth stream? Let's see. We have this stream here. One is flowing this way. Two. Oh, there's this one there. Oh, it's right in the back there. 3, 4, 5. Oh, and then this stream right there. It's coming down that way. Oh, and we can see them all flowing into the water. Do we see that in the? Oh, yeah, obviously. But, you know, it's kind of coming from behind this cloud. Yeah, the first thing I thought is that it's holding a little crystal. At least that's what I want to see in this card. Is that its nose? No, I don't think it has a nose. I don't think it has a nose at all. But it's so cute. All right. Do you guys want to hear what Joanna has to say in the book? Is that something that might be helpful? I may not read big guidebooks, but I could read the little ones. Is that interesting to you before I just start reading without waiting for an answer? Okay. So hopefully our creators won't mind. So the keywords here, serenity, love, and openness. Let me hold that up for you. A spirit hovers above a lake, a golden cup perched upon their head. From the cup, 5 overflowing streams pour as a bird drops a coin within the cup. But the spirit does not move, happy to bask in the water as it flows over it, right? I think we kind of noticed that about this particular card. So, and then a message from within, or from the whispering spirits. There's a chance to get in touch with your feelings and let them color your perceptions and actions in a positive way. Don't close yourself off. Instead, look for ways to rely on understanding and compassion in challenging situations, to face frustration with calm and see how it enriches your life and experience. And the guidebook, by the way, for this is written by Trish Sullivan, who also does the guidebooks for 78 Tarot. So our little whispering spirit gave us some stuff to think about, yes? And yeah, Renee, somebody earlier said that too when we were looking at the original, you know, the 5 streams for the 5 senses. Robin says the clasped hands look like they're holding a little shelf, but I think it's just the shield. Oh, maybe you meant a shield. But I think it's just the thumbs touching. Yeah, I don't know. That card is awfully darn cute, though, if you ask me. All right, moving on to, now this one's a little bit different, and this is a deck that I haven't worked with yet, but I kind of scanned through it last night just to make sure we wouldn't be too far off base. And that is the Chrysalis Tarot. So this could really bring some different imagery for us. Let's see how it goes. Heather, I know this is one you've worked with quite a bit. So let me get the Ace of Cups out of here. Put that over there. Oh, wait. We'll get our little book because I kind of enjoyed reading out of the book. There are no rules here, right? We can change up the structure of Playdate any old time we want to. All right, so what's really different about the Chrysalis Tarot is that instead of cups or chalices or anything like that, we actually have mirrors. And I kind of love that sometimes when we're talking about the watery suit. Okay. I'm going to get this really close. So this is the Ace of Mirrors in this particular deck. All right. Hopefully you got a chance to see some of the components in this card. Nice and close up there. We have not reused a deck yet. We're still working our way through my collection. And I pulled some decks out that I didn't think would be really conducive to Tarot Playdate as well. I should have pulled that Thellum out. Oh, by the way, did I tell you guys, after last week, I totally put that deck in my, I think it's ready to go. I don't really enjoy working with that particular deck, but it might be for some others. I say mirrors funny? How do you say mirrors? Like there's only so many possible pronunciations for it. Lots of sea energy, Emma is noticing. It really is a beautiful deck. You know, when I first got it, and I still haven't worked with it a ton. I wish this would focus a little better. It's like I want to cover my face. There's so much yellow with these borders, and I've seen people trim it. Did you trim yours, Heather? These are the backs, by the way. I just think those are butterflies, not moths, right? Look away, Simon, just in case, because I don't know the difference. But I think these are butterflies. But it's really pretty. Mirrors. Mirrors? Is that better? Mirrors? They are both reflective. All right. Oh, Stephen doesn't see, the relationship between waters and mirrors. So what kind of jumps out besides the mirror? What jumps out to you in this card? Now I'm going to try and get it a little bit better focused again for you here. There we go. You know what jumps out for me is, this is a mirror, but I feel like both sides of the card are somewhat mirrored as well, right? It's like, even though it's not exact, like we have different creatures here, but there's a mirroring that's happening within the card itself as well. Sandra notices the face at the top of the mirror. White Tree Tarot says candles are bringing fire energy in. Yeah, we don't really see fire energy coming in to our other aces of cups, but there's more of that here. Do you think maybe, if the fives, sometimes some people saw the 5 streams of water as the elements, maybe we're more representative of some of those elements here. Although I don't really see a real earthy element happening. The idea of mirrors feels narcissistic. I don't know. Sometimes it depends. Are you getting caught up in the mirror? Or are you using it to be reflective and self-reflective? The water is pouring out, right? So we have water pouring out from the mirror here. Lori says the mirror looks cold. Hi, Lori. I don't know if I've said hi to you yet today. Psychically Yours says, Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid pops in my mind with this card. Yeah, I can see that. More songs to sing as we walk away from Tarot Playdate. Oh, the sea turtle stands for earth and water, says the Bastet 777. Yes, because the turtles can go onto the land, right? There's a lot more life in this card than the other aces. Turtle and fish and all sorts, even plants. Yeah, let me see if I can get a little closer for you two guys. Sorry. The water plants could be earth. Yeah, good point. Can you tell I'm not a plant person? I can't figure out where they come from. Oh my goodness. Is this kind of a shiny card? So I know we're getting a bit of glare. Come in for me. One of these days I'm going to get a super fancy camera. Robin notes that you can scry in a mirror as well as a cup. The 2 candles are balancing yin and yang, says the Bastet 777. I've got to figure out a way. I'm just going to call you Bastet. Is that okay? Am I even pronouncing that right? Are we underwater in this card? To me, it looks underwater, right? With the seahorses and the seaweed, right? What about this ornate thing on top of her head or his head? Or it's, 2 little seashells. And, what is sorry. Looks like some pearl of wisdom in the middle there. So our third question that we had, this is interesting. This is kind of interesting. What influence does the moon or will the moon have on me this week? And I find it interesting that we pulled that card when we're talking about reflection and mirrors and then bringing in the mood. Emma says she looks like royalty, which would connect with the holiness from the original card. Yeah, I can see that. So rather, royalty versus God. Yeah, moon and water, they're connected, right? The tides are connected to the moon. Self-reflection, says Kimberly. Yeah, it's a reflective mood, right? A time for reflection. Heather, it will cause me to be more internal and reflective, which makes total sense for a waning moon. My nose is still a little stuffy. Robin says the moon overflowing tides affecting our emotions. Anyone else have kind of any thoughts? Oh my gosh, I'm going really slow today. Let's see what our book has to say. If I can do this one-handed again. Our Ace of Mirrors. Oh, Elle says fruitfulness, generosity, both materialistic and with time when looking in the mirror. White Tree Tarot. Background seems like clouded sky with stars peeking out. Oh, interesting. Only it would just stay freaking focused. Catherine says the water pouring out of the mirror is so interesting because it's not really possible to see this while underwater. It gives the card a magical quality. Yeah, it looks like we're out of the water. You know, it's almost like a through the looking glass thing, right? It kind of gives it that. I don't know why I said that, but it's, you know, it's like, yeah, we have all of this behind water, but yet this is in front. Looking into your own emotions is Athena's path. Heightened connection with intuition. Yeah, all kinds of feels going on in this moon, apparently. All right, in here, the key word is feelings for Ace of Mirrors. That's not a big surprise. As with all aces, the Ace of Mirrors heralds a new beginning, while the suit of stones navigates, okay, we don't care about the suit. Oh, the suit of mirrors reflects the watery currents of feelings and the tides of human emotion. On this card, you meet Daphne, a water nymph and daughter of Gaia. The Ace of Mirrors means either new romantic love, symbolized by the two candles. Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't have necessarily connected that with new romantic love, or a steady flow of creative energy. The turtle knows good fortune both in water and on land. The sea plants to either side of Daphne symbolize subterranean energy influencing a new project. Be careful that you don't get swamped, says Stephen. Very good. All right, so let's go ahead and see what else we've got. Where did you go? You go there. All right, my third deck this week. I know this is Jen's favorite deck, Jen Science to Soul Jen, the Crystal Visions Tarot. This one is one that I have. This was the first deck I ever trimmed, the one of two that I've ever trimmed. And I edged it in pretty purple. All right, let's see. Kay, what were you saying here? Observation. When you say Americans, do you mean people from the US or do you include Canada? That's a good question, Kay. What do they mean? All right. Is the Crystal Visions is on your wish list? Oh, words escape me sometimes. Now, I will have to say I have one pet peeve about the cups. I think this deck is gorgeous, but I do have one pet peeve about the cups, and we'll see if you guys can figure out what that might be. Here's our Ace of Cups in Crystal Vision. So I'll go ahead and do the thing where I pull it close for you again. Come on. There we go. There we go. I think you've got a pretty good look at that. Now, if only we'd had the question about the moon on this card, right? It looks a little dreary, says Lori. Why does it look dreary? Tell me what you think makes you feel that way. It's dark. Yeah, it's not daylight, right? Is it sunset? Is it dawn? What else do we notice in this card? We're talking about the Americans, Canadians, US debate here. The sun is setting behind, the slime coming down from the top. Is that supposed to be slime or is it supposed to be water? Jamie says, I feel like I'm standing in a cave looking out at the thing that I cannot touch. It looks like a swamp. Well, you know what they were saying earlier about, you know, the muddier the waters, the more beautiful the lotus, right? These lotus are pretty beautiful. If I could get the camera to freaking focus. There we go. All the little dragonflies. Yeah, my big pet peeve with this deck is kind of how the water is like sitting in this cup and barely dribbling out. I feel like, as beautiful as this card is, and I feel like really in this deck, maybe the lotus are more a primary focus in the cup suit, but I really want to see that overflowing water. I want to see, I don't want to see my water be stagnant because that actually makes me feel exactly like that, a bit stagnant. See, Essence 818 says it looks like dew on the top of the card. Yeah, I can't, it almost feels like we're looking out of, you know, it's like, is it a mossy tree? Is that clouds? I can't quite figure it out. It has the goddess symbol on the cup. Ooh, where's the goddess symbol? Oh, do you mean the moon? Or the moon phases is the goddess symbol? Is that the same thing, Heather? The cat tails surrounding the lake. Ella's noticing that. Yeah, the stagnant water, says Lori. Yeah, I love the purples in this card. My favorite color, so it's really easy for me to get caught up in that. Yeah, the water seems thick. All right, Twist is saying the lotus equals purity and the cattails equal peace. Oh, I didn't know that about cattails. Interesting. It's like the water is evaporating. So our question, which I find really interesting now that we have the, you know, the moon phases on this particular cup. So Stephen, you're going to have to help us out here if you're still here. And that is, how can we best navigate the Saturn-Pluto conjunction happening today? So for those of you who know what that means in astrology, because I still don't know what that means, you know, how do you feel that this card answers that question? Lori is noticing that, yeah, without that flowing water, it's not really conducive to clarity and flowing love. But I still feel like a sense of peace and calm when I look at this. I feel like my emotions are calmer in this card than maybe in this card. You know, this is more overflowing, and this is more just like, my cup is full rather than my cup runneth over, if that makes sense. If it's evaporating, it's not stagnant. That's true. Yeah, the dragonfly stem, right? Come closer again. There we go. There we go. Right? Kind of making up the cup there. All right. Do we know how to answer? How can we best navigate the Saturn-Pluto conjunction happening today? Anybody know how to answer that question? Maddie says she can almost see a breeze in this card. Hello, Maddie. Very 6th and 7th chakras. Psychic Leor says, I believe the conjunction is an ending and heralds a new beginning, which makes sense when you are talking about an ace and an ace of cups. The dragonfly symbolizes fast-paced change. Maybe there is a supplement to the stillness of the water. Oh, that's interesting. So kind of balancing that out, right? So the water's more still, but we have the rapidly beating wings of that dragonfly. Wish the conjunction all the best. So that's kind of how I feel, because I don't know. I wrote down the question, but maybe I'm not allowed to do that if I don't know what it means. Heather says dragonflies also symbolize change and transformation. All right, let's see. Where's my little book here? I don't know if this offers a lot of extra meaning. Whoa, let's not throw that on the floor. Ace of Cups. Oh, this is tiny writing too. I'm going to see if there's anything different. This card portrays a full cup overflowing onto the water lily upon which it sits. The phases of the moon adorn the cup, representing the different aspects of our emotions. So those are some of the things. Oh, adaptability and transformation. Heather is clarifying that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set that one aside because we are already in an hour. Oh, there's another dropsies. Okay. All right, so we're at an hour and we have 2 more decks to look at here and 2 more questions to answer. Ones that I hopefully will understand better. So this is a classic, the Llewellyn Tarot. And this is one that I just recently brought into my collection. I did work with it for a bit. Hopefully the background noises aren't too. Oh, I guess I should leave. This book might be a bit much to read because it's a nice big guidebook. Catherine, you said that card has a strong atmosphere for you. Okay, so Stephen's giving us some information. The conjunction is happening in Capricorn, the home of Saturn. It's the first time this conjunction has happened since the 1200s. Oh, wow, that sounds significant. Here are the backs of this in case you're interested. All right. Let's find our Ace of Cups in this card. So this is kind of, I think, coming back. You know what's funny is this almost feels like a blend of our original and our crystal visions when I show you this here. Maybe you'll know what I mean. So here is our Ace of Cups from the Llewellyn Tarot. This one's a bit shiny, sorry. There we go. Yeah, this is a really pretty card. So what do we notice that's different in this card? You know, and then I'll show you the original to see if you kind of pick up on some. There's a couple of things that I kind of noticed missing that we're also missing in the Crystal Visions version. Big mountains. Psychically yours. Yeah, I always have, or tiny mountains, but we have mountains, right? We have some mountains in the background of this card. There's no dove. Yeah, I think that was the first thing that stood out for me as far as what is not in this card. You know what, though? It's like, does anybody see a dove in the cloud here? Is that just me? When you get it closer, you don't see it. Come on, come on. Don't make me a liar, cards. But when I pull it away, I feel like I see like wings and like the bird flying up. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. The hand seems more normal. You guys see it? Okay, it's not just me. But I don't think I would have noticed if I wasn't looking at this in the camera and kind of pulling it far away. Because when I look at it this way, well, no, I still see it. Now I can't unsee it, I guess. You know, I think we have the really prominent lotus flowers here, the lily pads. You know, that's something that I think really speaks really similar to what the Crystal Visions is showing us. The clouds hint at a winged figure like the dove or the dragonfly in the previous card. Another thing that we don't have, do you guys, another couple of things. One thing I noticed, we don't have any kind of a wafer or coin or anything like that in this card. Yeah, it's not coming from a dark and stormy cloud, right? So that hand is just kind of coming from light versus from maybe more turbulence. Good notice there, Catherine. So our question that we had, our fifth question, I guess now, is this. So this question was asked, how is this week for traveling for work? So whether or not you are interested in that for yourself or just want to help answer that question, how does the Ace of Cups indicate our week as far as traveling for work will go? Yeah, there's no letter on this cup, that's for sure. Bye, Dragonfly Whimsy. Thank you for coming. I know that we're running a little long today. Lots of streams, lots of roads to take out. Yeah, we could go different ways. You're going to be climbing mountains, says Selkie. Maybe wear your galoshes or take an umbrella. Yeah, like if you take this card, literally, it could rain. Prepare for rain. If you're coming to Seattle, definitely prepare for rain. Flowing traffic, says Elle. Yeah, this is a little bit of a stripped down version, Stephen. That's true. Travel by water, says Lori. Travel will be calm, says Emma. Yeah. Don't get emotional in traffic, says Jilly. Yes, I think that's a really great advice, right? Just flow. Just flow with it. Roll with it. Go with it. Use the cup holder instead of what exactly? Plan for an alternative route. Yeah, I love this. Don't get emotional in traffic. Don't drink and drive. Says Emma. That's always good advice to follow. Please always follow that advice. Yeah, so like traffic issues kind of jumping out to people and how maybe we would respond to that. That's great. All right, I'm not going to hold you up too much longer on this card because I think you guys gave some great answers and I want to get to another one and we still have to talk about our activities for the week that most of us don't do, but I would love to see us all get better. I will try to be better about leading by example. All right, this is a much beloved deck that came out this year, so I'm really interested to see what this is going to pull out for us. And this is our Forest of Enchantment Tarot. Such a beautiful deck. I know I didn't read from the Llewellyn book, but the bigger guides sometimes can be a little bit tricky, and I don't want to over inundate you guys with information. Here are the backs. If you guys have not seen this, although it's been everywhere, all over social media. This was my first two-toned edging job I did with green and brown. All right, let's look at our Ace of Cups in here, which I know has been renamed to something. Ace of Visions. Oh, such a pretty card. Really different, though. This is really different than the other cards that we've looked at. Okay. We haven't done the reverse yet, Lori. That comes right after this. Oh, yeah. Don't let me forget that. That's good. All right. Here is our Ace of Cups from the Forest of Enchantment. We'll get a nice close look at this. Oh, look at that. I've never noticed that before. Do you guys see what I'm looking at? Okay. Oh, two. Oh, that's awesome. Sorry. I got so caught up in this card just now. So a couple things that jumped out to me right away. I don't know if you guys saw this, but you know, the reflection in this of this bird is different, right? So we have this, let's see if we can get really close. Right, so there's that pendant and then this like crown. So if we turn this upside down, that's a different bird. She sees herself different, says Abundance Tarot. Yeah. I don't know. I never noticed that before. This one, yeah, is wearing a necklace. Reflect on your true inner beauty, says Jen. Yes. Yeah, we're definitely talking about self-reflection here. White Tree Tarot. See the king or queen in yourself? Yeah, this reminded you, Elle, of the Titanic necklace, right? Yeah, I get that. So our question, so if we want to talk about, actually, let's talk before we get into the question, anything that really speaks to you or that this card brings out for the Ace of Cups, or in this case, Ace of Visions, that we didn't really see in those other cards. Yeah, when you take a magnifying glass to your tarot cards, you really can see a lot of new things. I really learned that when I watched Brian Cormac Carr's one of his videos about taking the magnifying glass, and that's what I love too about being able to get this up and close to the camera like that, because I see things that I don't see when I look through these on my own. Heather said, "Isn't there a myth about a swan and a necklace? Knight of the Swan." Yeah, this deck brings in a lot of stories and myths into it, so I would not be surprised. Oh, oh, sorry. Simon went back into the past. Welcome back. Welcome back to the future. Twist is saying you're still seeing peace and purity. Yeah, it's really pretty. You know, the swan, like, what does that bring? What does that bring for you to the Ace of Cups or the Ace of Visions? Here's our original, just to kind of, I'm going to shift myself over here. And let's see, what are those little, oh, we do still have the lotus flowers. I think that's what those are. Yep, still lotus flowers. I love that. I love this whole idea of this self-reflection. So our last question that we had, that we can use this card to answer, is how can we best make our intentions clear in social situations? So that's really specific. So how can we let the Ace of Cups guide us in making our intentions clear in social situations? Yeah, Kay, the crown and the reflection, you know, this is a very adorned bird when you turn it upside down. Reflect on our interactions, says Robin. I'll ask, are the branches being reflected around the swan in the water? The bottom part are haggard branches, but the lotus flowers at the top. No mud, no lotus. Okay, so once again, that's a really great observation. So this bird above, we have all of the flowers, but when we turn it upside down and look at the, whoopsie, the reflection, no flowers. Maybe the flowers reflecting themselves. A little bit different, right? Psychically yours, answering the questions, being empathic and trying to relate to others by stepping in their shoes, and empathetic. Oh, I'm sorry you're having technical issues, Maharet. Twist says, touch in with your inner self before opening your mouth, like check in, right? The swan sees its essential nature, says Stephen. Take the time to reflect before we speak, Jen said. Abundance Tarot, be yourself. Don't change for others. You are enough. You know, this is a message that's been coming up a lot for me lately. I've been participating in an Instagram challenge, and it feels like every card is just like, you just do you. It's okay. It's enough. Aquarius Alice says this talks about peace. Oh, they are irises, not lotus in the book. Thank you for that clarification. See others as an equal, beautiful human, and don't judge when you respond, says Jen. I love that. Simon, your iPad just sent you back to your original RWS because it knows you like that best. Essence 818, be who you see, not what they expect when they see you. L, the ugly duckling finally sees itself as the queen it is. Yes. All right. Wonderful, wonderful answers to this. All right, so let's go back and let's talk about when our Ace of Cups is reversed or in a blocked or challenged position. What does that mean to us? You know, obviously, I think you could go really literal and say it means, you know, our emotions are blocked, but I want to get a little bit more creative with it than just that. You know, I've never really looked at this card upside down, but that hand looks like it's pushing the cup down, like pushing emotions away. Does that make sense? Like, do you see? That's something that I kind of see with that card. Oh, Catherine and I are exactly on the same page. Yeah. Running on empty, says Essence 818. Emotional overload, says Emma. What goes up must come down. Yes, Kay. That's messy. Something in particular, Twist, or just this card in general being upside down? Yeah. Yeah. All of the water spilling out. Overloaded with info from your five senses. Yeah, I feel like the streams, when this card is upside down, they feel way more prominent to me. Like I see that almost before I see the cup itself. Stephen says we have to see and know our intentions consciously first. Anybody else like see? So, you know, what's happening with our dove? Is he about to drown in those emotions? Is that poor little dove going to get a bit overwhelmed? Denying connections, closing yourself off to others, says Emma. Avoiding dealing with our emotions, says Athena's path. Yeah, is the dove getting trapped by the cup? It's a that's another way to look at it. Not only drowning, but actually being trapped by the cup. You know, like when you try to trap a little critter in your house, right? L, emotions hold you up and have a strong influence to us with the vessel. The dove is associated with air. Thinking is being overcome with emotion. Yeah, so we're kind of losing the reason in our decision making, maybe. Drained emotions, no water left in the cup. Yes. Lots to think about with the Ace of Cups. Seems like a simple card, doesn't it? But I love the aces. And I know we're looking forward to that major, but think about it like this. Almost every tarot book you read, it starts with the majors, right? We shook things up a little bit. We just hang out in the middle of the tarot. All right, so for those of you who are interested in connecting more, where's my books? With whatever tarot deck you're working with this week, we are going to let our card of the week guide our tarot playbook activity. I have to look up. Twist answered me. The card spells messy emotions when upside down to you looking at. Thank you. Thank you, Twist, for clarifying that for me. Yeah, that looks like the dove is opposing the downward pressure of the hand. Oh, Fox, hello. Yeah, so when that card is upside down, Friends Claire, treat others how you would like to be treated. Again, one of those rules. It's like, don't drink and drive. Treat others how you would want to be treated. I feel like these are good classic reminders. All right, so this week in the Tarot Playbook activity, Ace of Cups, which is going to be on page, 82. I almost said 62. This one's actually called In the Mood. Might this have a relationship to emotions? And let's, oh, look at that picture. That's really pretty. This actually feels like it might be related somehow. So it talks about here, I'll just go ahead and read the first couple sentences. How we feel seriously affects how successful we are in many situations. It doesn't matter whether you're charged with fiery enthusiasm, mellow and full of love, pointy, sharp and focused, or firmly rooted in the ground. If your attitude isn't in sync with the task at hand, it means you're likely to struggle. But if you let your cards get you in the right mood, suddenly anything is possible. So here it talks about deciding how you would like to feel, and then using your minor arcana cards to, let's see, what are we doing here? Picking a suit, getting comfortable with our cards, and using your cards to help change your mood around. So this is actually connected to emotions. All right, Tarot Playbook. I'm with you this week. I might actually do this activity. This is my reminder before I read the Tarot Playbook activity to not forget the reversals. So let's see. We had some more stuff come in. Oh, Stephen, you said drain, unable to be inspired or thirsty. If you do not have the Tarot Playbook, or you don't like the activity in there, or you want to do extra stuff for extra credit, because you'll get lots of applause and things if you post it in the Tarot Playdate or Facebook group, Tarot Playdate Facebook group. The alternate activity this week for Ace of Cups is called, this one doesn't have a title. Oh, that's my fault. This is a me activity. Oh, I wanted you to try something new this week. So this is a real easy homework assignment. I said, if you can, take your cards with you to a cafe. Try a beverage that you have never tried before, or buy and make something new at home to drink. Sip it as you look at through your cards and tap into how you feel as you work through those cards. So the whole idea was try something new and in a cup. So I was being very literal when coming up with some of these activities, that's for sure. I want to thank you. Yeah, right? Easy. Try something new. Try a new beverage. You know, I don't think I've ever had, I don't know, there's some new like wintry drinks out there that I might need to try. It might be good. I want to thank you all once again for coming and participating. I am in a much better mood than maybe I was early this morning. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Oh, monkey poo coffee. I did try it. So Simon sent it. I tried it. It tasted like coffee. You know, it did. It tasted like coffee. If you know anybody who you think is, you know, struggling with learning tarot or learning the new, learning the meanings, especially some of the core cards or whatever it is, if you know anybody that you think would like to participate, please invite them. The more the merrier. I have such a great time with you all this week. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope I see you in the Facebook group. If you have not joined, just a word of caution. We're trying to be pretty, we're trying to make it easy for people to join, but we also want to make sure that the space is for those who are really participating or want to kind of take our tarot play date into the rest of our week. So we do have 3 questions to just answer when you request to join. And there's also, and people keep missing this, there's also just an I agree to the rules. So I think you just have to hit the yes, you know, I agree to the rules, yes. And it's the basic rules. It's just treat others as you would want to be treated, basically, right? So if you'd like to join, we'd love to have you. If you are posting on Instagram or social media anywhere, the hashtag tarot playdate, all one word, obviously, in a hashtag. Use that, and I do follow that so that I can maybe catch what you're doing on Instagram if you're posting there. Thanks once again to everybody who came, participated, watched, didn't say a word, but learned something from this. I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, let me know. If you're watching this later, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. I always read them, and I try always to respond. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and until I see you in the next one, much love. Bye.